Hello. The game I want to talk about today is Super Hunchback for the original Nintendo Game Boy. Super what? Come on, Super Hunchback, you know the one. You crickets make me sick. The game was published by Ocean and was released in 1992, 2 years before Hunchback 2 Jolly's Island and Hunchback 64. Just kidding. Now when I first got this game I thought interesting, Disney made a game based on their Hunchback of Notre Dame movie. Except, no, because that particular film was not released until 1996. Nintendo made Hunchback games before it was cool. Well, technically after. But still. Funnily enough, there was a Game Boy game about the film which came out in '96, and according to the Wikipedia page, one critic gave it a glowing review praising every aspect of the game, concluding boldly, "Rarely has a game for children be so well made." Wow, well that sounds like a must-play. I mean, to be fair, Disney did make some pretty cool games back in the day. Aladdin is still one of my favorites, so I'm not that surprised that Hunchback of Notre Dame Topsy Turvy games is so good. Wait! What kind of name is that for a video game? I smell a rat. No, a goat. I smell a goat. Indeed, as it turns out, Topsy Turvy Games is about as bland as it gets. It's nothing more than a compilation of minigames, most of which are as old as time itself, and about as involving as watching Walt Disney go to the bathroom. I mean, you've got that puzzle game everyone has played and no one has ever enjoyed, where you move pieces of some stupid character's body parts around. You've got bowling. Yeah, bowling. With a goat, no less. It's ridiculous, to say the least. Then you've got Breakout, and not a good version of Breakout. Perhaps the most boring version of Breakout I've ever played, in fact. Otherwise, there's a game where you have to burst another character's balloons, which is mostly tedious, especially since it took me 5 minutes to realize which guy I was even controlling. Then there's a game where some dudes are jumping out of windows and you have to catch them. Kinda like an Earthworm Jim, except much less gory and much less fun. And that's pretty much it, except, what the hell was that review all about? At no time will you get bored in the game? Wrong. The hilarious commentaries from the gargoyles will keep you awake? Wrong! I fell asleep instantly. I could still be asleep right now. It could all be a horrible nightmare. The game might appeal as well for adults with its remarkable design. Wrong! Oh, I see. There's a PC version of the game, it turns out, and that's the version they're talking about. And yeah, I mean, this one looks much better. The Game Boy version is nothing more than a joyless cash-in with zero effort put into it. Which reminds me, I need to book my tickets for Jafar, the movie. But enough of this topsy-turvy nonsense. Let's not get sidetracked by childish, silly things. Let's talk about Super Hunchback for the Nintendo Game Boy. The game is a 2D platformer in which you play as Quasimodo, who kinda looks like Popeye for some reason as he walks past a bunch of obstacles in the hope of ringing a heck of a lot of bells. It's an update on the game Hunchback from the 80s, which had a similar concept. No, this can't be. Is it putting on the Ritz? Why? Why putting on the Ritz? Of all the songs in the world? What, is this a Young Frankenstein reference? Does the game end with Quasimodo like dancing around with a top hat and a cane and Gene Wilder with him? Dude, I gotta play this now. The graphics in the game look pretty good. The music and the sound effects all sound decent, so first impression is it's already better than that other game, which, if I could remind you, came out a full 4 years later. Strangely, Quasimodo doesn't really have an attack. He can walk, he can jump, but that's about it. Which makes the B button completely useless. At least they could have had B do something funny, like get him to do a little dance or something. I don't know, putting on the Ritz is playing. Anything's better than nothing. You jump around picking up fruits. Oh my god, this is just like the book! Most of which are just floating in the air randomly. The first thing you encounter are logs that roll towards you, and although you can jump on them fine, I tend to get crushed every time I try that, so forget it, not worth it. As soon as you ring the bell, every item around you freaking explodes, which is awesome. Oh come on, how was I meant to know the log was gonna come from that direction? For the first time ever. I had a hunch they were gonna trick me like this. One thing I'm not quite clear on are those bombs with letters in them. I know you're meant to spell out extra, but I'm not sure what happens when you do that. Most of the time you're too busy worrying about not getting hit by cannonballs to focus on picking those up. I was avoiding them! Why would I ever think of grabbing them? I like fruits, damn it! Fruits! Same goes for the cannonballs, which I later realized I could use as platforms, because if you see a cannonball, oh, of course you gotta jump on it. Who am I, freaking Baron Munchausen over here? Alright, that's 1, 2, 3... That's 3 of you who got that reference, and I want to tell you that I love you all very much. Congratulations, you win this bomb. Go on, touch it. Well, you don't want it? Why? You'll soon realize why there are so many ways of picking up extra lives, by the way, as it becomes quickly apparent that Super Hunchback is super hard and unforgiving. To me anyway, because I suck ass. But let's talk about the pits in the game, which are a pain in the back. Not only are they everywhere, and they become a big deal as the game goes on, but you can't look down, so most of the time you just have to take a leap of faith, and most of the time that ends up biting you in the ass. How was I meant to know about these spikes? This is a long-ass game. It should not be screwing with me this much. My double A's are gonna run out. Sometimes you find some useful things in those pits, like extra time, because there's a time limit, as this Mission Impossible style burning string suggests. Unfortunately, it requires a level of trust you wouldn't even give to your own clone. Another annoying thing are those swinging ropes, though, to be fair, they're a pain in most games. Then there's portals. Yeah, portals. Every so often you'll see a vortex casually floating around, and I avoided those as well for a long time because who knows what happens in the goddamn vortex? And why are there portals in the Hunchback game? I'll tell you why. They take you to some kind of bonus level where you collect like 10 fruits. You're expected to complete this in a short amount of time, plus you have to jump into the vortex at the end, otherwise a bell crushes you and that's that. If you do all this successfully, you get an extra life. Okay, fair enough. Except how are you meant to know that the first time around? I just thought you had to get as many fruits as you can and that was it, but no. If you don't jump into the vortex at the end, you get nothing.
You lose! Good day, sir!
I like how Quasimodo is just sitting back, chilling out in between levels. Could he look any more relaxed? I'll tell you, I don't feel relaxed in between levels at all. I feel anxious because I know there's more coming. You've probably noticed by this point that there are no enemies in the game. Yeah, no enemies, no bosses. It's literally just obstacles and platforms. Now, I'm not complaining, but it seems a bit of a waste considering how lonely my B button has become. Don't worry, B button. You'll be alright. Speaking of the B button, it turns out it does have a function. Near the end of the game, there's a maze-like level where you have to move these coils or whatever they are to direct the current in the correct direction. You press B to change the direction of the coils. Good luck trying to figure out what you're meant to be doing, where you're meant to go, and do all this within this time limit. No! No! Great. Arrows, that helps. Or rather, they would help if there weren't freaking hundreds of them. Apart from maybe the pits, the worst part of the game is the water sections. For one thing, Quasimodo's swimming is miserable. He looks like he's drowning, which is disturbing. And there's no cool Sonic music playing. He's criminally slow and you have to constantly hit the A button to get him to stay afloat, otherwise you find yourself crashing into the spikes below, very slowly. Just a side note, you think that's enough spikes? And what am I meant to do here? I can't possibly reach that platform over there unless... Jesus! Oh, come on! Oh, okay, so you can reach the platform, you just gotta go insane first. So yeah, the water parts are a nightmare. Imagine that, a water level that's not fun. One more thing about the cannonballs, don't think you can just ride them like balls all the way. If they crash, so do you. I learned that the hard way. You can jump on the swinging balls as well, by the way. What? They're swinging balls, how else am I supposed to describe them? Pendulums? Swinging pendulums? Swinging pendulous balls? The bubbles as well, though they eventually pop and you usually have to quickly jump onto another one, otherwise you fall into the pit below and die a painful, delicious death. Is it just me or do those pineapples look like grenades? I mean, I know they're pineapples, but I'm not taking any chances. The game does a good job at staying entertaining throughout despite the lack of enemies, plus While you don't get to punch or shoot anything, it's still pretty challenging to get through some of those stages, to say the least. Whether it's fireballs or arrows or clouds or electrical beams, there's always something out to make your life really difficult. Wait, electrical beams? Where is this taking place? Frickin' Christopher Nolan's Prestige? Is this Super Hunchback or Mega Man? What are we doing here? Look how complicated this gets. I can't even tell where I can jump most of the time. It's very tempting to hop your way through some levels quickly, and though that works here and there, a lot of the time you do need to pay attention, especially later on in the game. That final level is basically a boss. It goes on for like 8 years. The game ends with the lady, I'm guessing is Esmeralda, kissing Quasimodo on the cheek as hearts fly around the happy couple. Isn't that sweet? Missed opportunity. They should have totally kept putting on the Ritz for the end. I mean, that would have made it all worth it. All in all, while I'm not sure how popular Hunchbacks were with kids, especially before the Disney movie, Super Hunchback is actually a fun game. I know it doesn't look fun, but it is. It's a challenging 2D platformer with an appealing cartoonish look, a character that's easy enough to manipulate even if the jumping is a little sluggish and the swimming is a joke. The lack of bad guys and bosses actually makes the game surprisingly original, and it overall works quite well, even if it clearly takes the piss at times. A frustrating yet enjoyable game for the original Nintendo Game Boy. Just make sure that you're not an idiot and don't mistake it for that other garbage. Bowling with goats, give me a break. I rock out to the soothing sounds of 8-bit putting on the Ritz. That's what I do, baby. And you can believe me on that. Get it? Believe me? Alright, I deserve this.